Welcome to our daily reflection for this Sunday, December 29th, the Feast of the Holy Family. And as we are still in the great Christmas octave and this great solemnity of Christmas, as we reflect on the mystery that God became man and dwelt among us, that Jesus is the Son of God, and he reveals the heart of God, who is the Father. And so we contemplate this great mystery of Christmas in Jesus' sonship and the fatherhood of God, which is at the center of that Christmas mystery. We then, as the church invites us, we reflect on the Holy Family, that Jesus is born in not only Bethlehem, but he's born of the Virgin Mary, and Joseph is his adopted foster father. And so Jesus grows up in a family, in a human family. And that is so important, that God honors a family. And even Jesus honors his father and mother. And Jesus shows us the way we are to live, the way we are to love. Because deep living, a fullness of living, comes from a deep loving. If we live and we're disquieted and restless and unhappy, it's because our life isn't filled with proper love. We're not loving, receiving love, and giving love the way that we're called to by God. So Jesus comes and shows us the plan for humanity, to be loved and to love. And so Jesus receives the love of Joseph and Mary, and he gives them love. And so that's the story we have today. And I love starting with the scriptures from the book of Sirach, chapter 3, about a father and a mother. And God confirms the honor of a father and the authority of a mother over her sons. And if you honor your parents, and you atone for sins. And, this is a great promise. And this is evoking the fourth commandment, which is the first commandment with a blessing, a promise attached to it, that he who honors his father and mother will have long life, right? And that the psalm from Psalm 122 is about family life, and that the righteous man who fears God and follows God will be blessed with a happy, joyful family life with his wife and his children. And so even honoring one's father when they become old is something always to do. And to honor your earthly father prepares you for honoring, and it does honor your heavenly Father. And Jesus speaks about that. And of course, in the gospel today, we have the Holy Family making pilgrimage to Jerusalem, and as their custom, and Jesus is 12, and then they go back from there. And of course, you might be like, how did they lose Jesus? And why did it take them a day to find out that they lost Jesus? Well, oftentimes when they traveled in a caravan, the men would travel together and the women would travel together. And when they got together, Jesus is 12. He's right at that cusp of being with the men or being with the women still. And Mary thinks he's with Joseph. Joseph thinks he's with Mary. And they get together that night and they're like, where's Jesus? I thought he was with you. And then they go back and look for him. And Jesus, it seems maybe cruel and unusual for him to just leave them. And they say they looked with great anxiety. They looked all over for him. And he says, why were you looking for me? Didn't you know I would be in my Father's house? Right? Jesus has to remind them, even if it's painful because he loves them, of the truth that he is the Son of the eternal Father. And that he belongs to the Father before he belongs to them. And so this is going to be important because they're missing him for 3 days. And this is a precursor. Jesus is preparing Mary, who is keeping all these things and pondering them in her heart, of the great mystery that will happen later, when Mary will miss Jesus for 3 days when he's in the tomb. And yet he will come back again. And so here we have this idea of, did you not know I must be in my Father's house? We are to reflect that Jesus, the full mystery of Jesus, is that he's the Son of the eternal Father. And that is a profound mystery, one we're invited to ponder with Mary as we reflect about who Jesus is, but also that Jesus takes on family life and that he reveals that God is a Father. And so we see that family is so important in God's plan. Marriage is an institution made by God. Right from the beginning, he calls Adam and Eve to be husband and wife and to have children. And so we see that family is so central to God's plan for humanity that he enters into a human family. And family is so central, of course, to the attack of the devil. The devil wants to disrupt family, dishonor family, because he hates family, because family is made in the image and likeness of God, who is Father and who is the eternal Son. And so the devil hates and fights that. And we have to protect and defend families. So the scriptures today are about celebrating, and this great feast is about celebrating the Holy Family. And to remember that all families, each of our families, are called to imitate the Holy Family, to be filled with love and hope and joy and love. And so let's renew our family life today as the church calls us to in this great feast day. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.